Already. All right. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if it's going to connect to Facebook. Damn it. Because they sent me a message saying it wasn't going to connect to Facebook in a few days, and I'm not sure if it's going to or not. Damn it.
Why?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Because Facebook changed their algorithm, of course, and tried to fuck them. Damn it. But it is now. That's fine. On Facebook. It's Steve, Brad, and BBCast. Please share. Why did you go away? Come back, Shane. Yeah. And I'm shared, so.
Here we go. Yeah, I see it.
I just need to share on the Twitter.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
Yeah. Let me just take a peek over there. Yeah, looking good. You see what cup I have today? You still have yours?
I have the soda cup, the Tevis version of it. I don't think I have ever had a coffee cup. I think I do have a coffee cup. Yeah. I just use it as a spoon rest usually.
It's pretty good because it's real heavy. You know,
they had good promotional shit. They really did. Product was terrible.
All right. Are we ready?
We are.
It is the Brad and Britt cast, our first one for this week. Thank you for joining us live here in the 1:30 hour East Coast time. You know, that's 4:30 mean Greenwich time. Actually, it's not, but don't you hate that when you see a story, you're reading it, and you want to know, well, what time did they put this up?
Greenwich Mean Time.
It has some 3-letter designation of a time zone. You don't know whether it's Outer Mongolia. Why is that? Can we get that fixed?
Who are these people? Let's get Joe Biden working on that. That's
is that picayune and irrelevant or not?
We'll get Joe Biden to work on that on day one. He doesn't have much else going on, so we'll see if he can fix that.
You want to play pick a thing here?
Pick a thing. Let's go.
I should probably rename that segment.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Pick a story.
All right, here it is. Ready? Say my name as long as it's not Indians. Wisconsin by a whisper. They call me Mr. Tibbs. They call her Dr. Jill. Or celebrity vaccination.
I want to do celebrity vaccination first, but those are all excellent, and it was a difficult choice.
That's a good one. Celebrity vaccination. All right. Verge magazine.
Hello.
Verge magazine came up with a list. Which celebrity should be the face of the COVID-19 vaccine? Which, of course, by the way, is a false premise to begin with, because America doesn't coalesce around Elvis anymore. It isn't that way anymore.
Is that right?
I know this is breaking news to them, but okay, we'll play along just for the.
Is this for the purposes of making it okay for people to take it so they won't die? Is that what it is?
Well, this is because people look at role models and they go, well, if that person is doing it, then it's okay for me to do it, because that person wouldn't be stupid enough to be hoodwinked into doing something that would harm them. So I will therefore take it. And, you know, this all goes back to that famous, there's a couple different versions of that famous shot of Elvis getting the polio vaccine in the 1950s. I think on 1956, he went on the Ed Sullivan show in between the Monkey Act and the Jugglers, came out, got his shot. Yes, and by the way, he didn't even sing a song that night.
Oh, really?
But here's their list, and this is about as incomplete and stupid as possible. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, obviously, because she's old and she's famous.
Okay. Fantastic celebrity.
Now this one you would have never guessed. Donald Fagen of Steely Dan.
No.
All right, here's the reason. Okay,
What's the reason?
He's obviously not the most famous rock star ever, but he's 72, and he is very credible among people, kind of like us. He's always been thought of as a fairly intelligent guy. Again, this is random. There is no definitiveness to this.
Verge
list.
Magazine is thinking way too hard on this. Have you ever seen Donald Fagen perform live?
No.
He would be bad for this pandemic. What I remember seeing him when I saw him at the Hard Rock Casino in Vegas.
Yeah, right.
He spits a lot when he sings. There's a lot of saliva, a lot of effluvia.
Well, see, that's the kind of pushback that I think is legitimate.
That's what they
I think
want.
You've got a great point there. And so all right, here's one, and I'm going to do a huge eye roll on this one as I read it. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, stop it. No.
I cannot think of anybody less credible and someone who has dabbled in phony bullshit products that are ripoffs. That is the worst idea ever.
Horrible.
Never.
Her mom, if her mom's still alive, Blythe Danner, she would be a great one for
right,
this one.
Because she's in the right. All right, Oprah, absolutely. That's a home run.
Yeah.
That's not even a question. And here's one. Dolly Parton. Same thing. Age.
Dolly Parton's a home
credible. We'll put her on the list. Taylor Swift, undoubtedly. That's a good one.
I love Taylor Swift, but not for this. I don't see that. I don't see that at all.
But Britt, there are a lot. It's not. There's no specific age group that is hesitant. It crosses all age groups, and she's got a credible following. I think that's a good one. Okay, get ready. Put on your seatbelt. Again, these are not our ideas. This is Verge Magazine, which should go out of business after this.
If there's
Kim and the entire Kardashian family.
Only if it's unsafe. Wait, did I say that? I didn't mean to say. Only if they can shoot her in the ass.
Right. Here's a quartet. Jeff Foxworthy, Bill Engvall, Ron White, and Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, the redneck comedy guys.
Right, those comedy guys. And then another group here, all late night TV hosts. I don't think you have to push them. I'm sure they'll all do it. All do it. Rob Lowe.
Okay.
Rob Lowe.
I like Rob Lowe, but
because he's been on TV or he's been a constant presence, for about 30, 35 years.
Well, I'll tell you this, that scandal that happened at the Atlanta Democratic National Convention where he had sex with the teenager.
Yeah.
That was 32 years ago. So, that's how long he's been around.
And by the way, has anyone gotten over something like that better than him?
Well, again, if it was in the internet age, it would be a little bit tougher.
Maybe a little tough, but he went on to be an assistant to the president, right?
He did. He was Sam Seaborn. He went to law school at Duke University. So there's that.
I want you to know. Can I give you a West Wing update on how we're doing?
Where are you?
We're trying to power through the entire series before it drops off of Netflix on
11 days.
Christmas days. Yeah,
you have 11 days,
and we are almost through season 3. Now, help me on this, because here's how I want to take the pressure off of myself.
Yeah.
At the end of season 5 that the guy who plays the chief of staff, John,
Leo McGarry.
He dies, right? He leaves the show.
He does not die. He has a medical event. He has a significant medical event.
Right, but he actually did die, so they had to come up with a medical event to take him off the show.
This is where things get screwed up. He has a medical event, not in real life, on the show. He comes back, and then later on, like a season after that, he dies in real life. So that's where you're getting kind of.
So them kicking him off the show killed him.
That's not. They reduced his role on the show.
They reduced his role, and he actually dies a year later.
Where are you in the show? What's going on the show? I can't tell season 3, season 2. What's happening on the show, and I'll tell you where you are.
We're right at the point where Stockyard Channing is in big trouble and decides to turn in her medical license to take the pressure off of President Charlie Sheen's father.
So Jed Bartlett goes from nearly dying in Vietnam to being president of the United States, and Stockyard Channing goes from being a almost pregnant slut in high school to becoming first lady of the United States.
That's exactly right. So there's hope for everybody.
I got to tell you, Melania Trump really has redeemed herself nicely as well, hasn't she?
Yeah.
When it comes to that. All right, do the Dr. Biden thing, because I want to hear the Dr. Biden thing.
You're up on the story, aren't you?
I am up on the story.
Okay, so this guy, Joseph Epstein.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I guess he writes columns occasionally for the Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
He writes something, and it's in there. I believe this was in their great Saturday edition, and it says that she ought to stop using the designation Dr. Jill Biden. It's inappropriate. You're puffing up yourself. You ain't a real doctor. You don't deliver babies. And the only kind of real doctors are the ones that deliver babies. And you've gone way too far, and everybody knows it. So just stop it. All right. Mm-hmm. So that, of course, gets this enormous and I think justified pushback because, of course, they've referred to people like Henry Kissinger as Dr. Kissinger.
Right.
Everyone with PhDs and degrees at that level, doctors of education, doctors of philosophy, can be called doctors. And she certainly doesn't wave it around, but some people address her just out of respect that way. And of course, the real story today is that how this gets reported in right-wing media, because the right-wing media response is liberal media loses mind.
That's
Liberals
right.
melt down
Right.
over Colin. Okay, that's always the way they portray something that is indefensible. All right, when it is justifiably attacked. And Jill Biden today finally responded after a couple days of letting everybody else carry the water for her, and in perfect Biden-esque pushback, she just tweeted this: "Together, we will build a world where the accomplishments of our daughters will be celebrated rather than diminished." See ya.
That's all you got to do.
She doesn't take the bait.
Oh.
And there really isn't any bait here. And in the first paragraph of the column that this guy wrote, he calls her kiddo. Hey, kiddo. She's 69 years old and got her PhD in education at age 55 and is a full professor of English. And this piece of shit thinks he can call her kiddo. You're not married to her, and you're not behind. You just don't do it. But this is the fake pushback against political correctness, I think, that conservatives would have. And of course, I view everything through, well, how does this compare to the biggest fraud of them all in terms of credentials? Donald Trump,
right,
who has no credentials, none whatsoever, and I believe has always puffed up and pumped up his couple of years, his last 2 years of college at the University of Pennsylvania, where he took some classes at the undergraduate level in the Wharton School. And he has said, I have graduated from the Wharton School, which leads you to believe he is an esteemed economist, like the real people who have graduated with PhDs.
Or an MBA or something like that.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have that.
And I found this article from a couple of years ago that the Philadelphia Inquirer did this, and they did the deepest dive into Trump's educational credentials ever. I mean, they went and they found that just in the 3 years between 2015 and 2018, he mentioned his credentials from the Wharton School of Finance 52 times. Okay. So he is the gild the lily guy. And I have never, ever heard Jill Biden, have you ever refer to herself as, just call me doctor? And by the way, back to the West Wing. We just happened. This is a coincidence. Over the weekend, we saw the episode where Stockyard Channing, who's married to
Stop calling her that. People are going to think that you think that's really her name.
What is it?
Stockard. It's not Stockyard.
Okay.
What did she do?
Well, no, there is a scene where she is sitting there and she's having a conversation. I think it was with Richard Schiff or one of the other people.
Right.
And they called her Mrs. Bartlett.
Oh.
And she says, I am a neurosurgeon. I've been practicing for 25 years. I'm a graduate of Harvard Medical School. You may call me Dr. Bartlett. Now, in that particular case, okay, I get it. But that was just, what, 20 years ago that was written, that particular moment came
10
and
or
went.
12. But in any case, yeah, I mean, I find it hard to believe that somehow calling her Dr. Biden is so highfalutin and so intimidating to MAGA Nation. Is that what we're supposed to believe? That
I think you absolutely.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's no doubt about that.
They can't handle a woman being called doctor, and that's just so off-putting to them that they're never going to. I mean, they might not accept Joe Biden as president if she keeps being called Dr. Biden, Brad. I mean, this is completely silly.
I think that's the tan suit of the Biden years already.
It's already the tan suit, like her being called doctor.
But this is the weird thing. Who is the king of questioning someone's credentials? It's Trump. Whose career in public office was launched by questioning someone's credentials?
You can imagine
with Obama.
You can imagine if like the birth of Jesus happened today, oh, King of the Jews, I'm so sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a perfect birth. There was a virgin birth. Oh, I'm so sure. We have affidavits from people who said they had sex with Mary. We have thousands of them. We're going to court right now. This was not a virgin birth. You can imagine this shit. I just, it's like they have this thing with the conservatives, the MAGA nation. I don't want to call them deplorables because Hillary Clinton was referring to a specific subset of human beings who are now driving hard to the hoop. And
well, wait a minute. I think not only can you use that word, but the word was
they wear it with pride. Right?
It was a smaller subset then than it is now, because you've had 4 years to see this guy in action. People who are not deplorable but voted for Trump, and we didn't want to insult you back then. If upwards of 60 or 70% of Republicans don't think that Joe Biden was legitimately elected, then Britt, I say get out of. You don't need to use a brush to paint them up. Get a roller, get a big roller, because I think you got to. And if you have 126 members of fucking Congress,
whatever we call them, whatever they're called. They have this thing about like, oh God, the coastal elites and the Democrats and liberals, they just look down on us. They think that we're stupid hillbillies that fuck our cousins. And then they do something like, don't call her doctor. She can't be called doctor. I can't relate to that. And then they just put the kick me sign on themselves. I just don't understand how you're supposed to take these people seriously.
I think you're underselling this, because this isn't some farmer in some Midwestern state that this is the Wall Street Journal.
But he's imagining.
Hang on. But wait.
He's imagining that he knows these people, like he has some sort of connection with.
No, I don't think he was imagining them at all. I think this is elitism. Oh. This is misogynistic elitism at its worst. And I don't even know if that's a phrase, misogynistic elitism, but I like it.
Sounds right.
And I'm staying with it. All right, we've pounded that. Do we need, before we get back to anything political, we really do need to talk about the Cleveland Indians finally throwing in the towel on the name Indians after 105 years.
This is your childhood team and a team that I've been a fan of for a number of years.
There's I should probably post the picture. I've already saved it, but I just haven't put it up there. I mean, they've got a great old black and white picture of the old Cleveland Stadium there, where they had a gigantic Indian holding the bat, the famous Chief Wahoo. I'll put it up. It's just that's a classic one where when we go down to that stadium, we take the rapid transit down from the suburbs where we lived, get off there, and you'd walk from downtown Cleveland, Public Square, to the old stadium, and there'd be all these people. There'd be 25 of them you'd have to pass, and they'd all be sitting there, and they'd all have a cardboard box, and they all would say the same thing: peanuts, 4 bags for $0.25. And they'd be these 4 little bags, and they'd all have about 6 peanuts in them.
There you
Apparently that was a marketing thing. You just couldn't sell a bag of peanuts. It was 4 bags
for $0.25.
Then that's a long time ago. But we've known this was going to come for the Indians for a long time, and I don't have a problem with it in the least. I really don't.
You ever lost a part of your childhood? A part of your identity hasn't been stripped from you?
No, it really hasn't.
Are you going to be okay? Are you going to be all right? Do you need a hug?
No, I'm cool with it. I'm fine.
If your identity was like wrapped up in some sports team that had a made up nickname anyway, from 100, it doesn't matter if it's 100 years old or 30 years old or 50 years old. It was just a made up nickname. If that was your identity, you suck. You have to figure out another way to like have an identity.
Yeah.
I mean, I would always, and I loved the team for many years, and I went to see them in Cleveland. I always enjoyed my visits to Cleveland. I went to see them at spring training. I've been a very big fan for a long time, but you would see sometimes on postseason, they would show these games because the team did make it to the postseason more than a few times in the past 20 years and 25 years. They would have the guys in the stands with the painted up faces. It would have a red face painted up like an Indian. He had a feather behind his head. And it was like, God, I don't think we need that. I think that's awful. I think that would always make me feel like it's blackface in the 21st century. I didn't like it.
All right, so there's 2 directions to go in here. You decide which one. Do you want to go with the alternate names? I got a great list here, and a lot of these really are pretty intelligent, and one of them is very likely. Or there's does this completely paint in and box in the Atlanta Braves, your move, guys? Because and I understand there are a lot of differences, but not really. I don't think there's any difference in the world in which we live right now. No difference at all.
It doesn't seem like it.
Let's go through these names first.
Give me your list.
All right. The Cleveland Spiders, which was one of the early professional teams in Cleveland in the 1800s. The Naps, Naps, named after Napoleon LaJoie, who, of course, was one of their early managers, big star. Naps, Naps. The Cleveland Rockers.
Oh, wow.
As in Cleveland Rocks, okay?
Wasn't that their WNBA team? Wasn't that the Cleveland Rockers?
Were they?
I don't know. It might have been. It sounds familiar.
This one would never make the Cleveland Guardians, because there's a bridge.
Oh,
forget it.
Fuck that. No.
All right, here's the worst one of all. Ready? The Cleveland Buckeyes.
No,
now, don't even think about it.
No, go away.
Don't even think about it.
No.
Right, the Cleveland Great Lakers. Which is that's got a double meaning, because not only does it have geographical meaning, Great Lakes, but it disses LeBron James.
It does.
Who is actually he's on the Great Lakers now.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, as it turns out.
Yeah, the Cleveland Municipals, as in Municipal Stadium.
That's very similar to the Metropolitans for the Mets, right?
I think you'll like this. The Cleveland Wild Things, as in Charlie Sheen. We always get back.
I do like that.
That was his name in the movie Major League. Rick the Wild Thing Vaughn.
You could have the glasses on the hat. That could be like the thing.
Yeah. The Cleveland Blues.
That was an original one.
But Rockers would be better than Blues. Especially because the St. Louis Blues are in hockey, so come on.
You might as well do Rockers, and you could have the guitar and stuff be the the symbol and shit like that. That'd be way better.
Now this, when you first hear it, the Cleveland Baseball Club.
I don't like it.
CBC. Yeah,
I don't like it because it's the Washington football team right now. And it's like a takeoff of the soccer teams. They're always the Dallas Football Club or whatever.
Yeah, but that doesn't. I don't think people know that. Oh. And if you have to explain it, you're losing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Rockers.
But let's turn this towards Atlanta, because I have this theory. That if it hasn't happened by now, it will happen very soon. And we filter everything through Trump. And Trump already tweeted about Cleveland. Okay.
Yes, yeah, he's already said
He's already taken his cheap shot.
It's cancel culture.
Cancel culture.
It's cancel culture.
I think Trump will turn this towards Georgia, and he will preemptively defend the name of the Braves for all the white people of Georgia who will not be politically correct, right? We're not going to be told.
We should go back to calling it the Atlanta Crackers. He might be in favor of that. He might be.
Right. Leaving it Braves is the half measure. Moving to Crackers, that would be all in, right?
I'll tell you what would be a straight up win for Atlanta, and I don't like that city at all. But if you want to pay tribute to that city's hip hop culture and history, you call them the Atlanta Outcasts with a K, and you go with that rap group, the Outcasts, with Big Boy and Andre 3000. You license that from them. That's what they should call that team. But they'll never do that. It's too cool. It's too awesome.
I don't think you want to do something that 50 years from now it is going to mean nothing.
Outcast is forever.
Yeah, right. Right, sure.
So you're in favor of
by the way, if I said let's call them the Beatles, you'd have right.
It'd be a great idea.
The Beatles played in Cleveland. It means nothing.
It'd be a great idea. You could do that.
How about the Atlanta Turners?
Oh God, they would hate that, wouldn't they? Holy shit! And everything that he stands for. Yeah. That's bad. I can't. I mean, Atlanta is a pretty irredeemable city anyway, so it's very difficult. But I mean, except in this election, thank God for you. Like the two cities that I really hate a lot, Atlanta and Philadelphia, completely redeemed themselves in the 2020 election. As far as I'm concerned, I can forgive them for so much based on what they did in the 2020 election for sure. What was that other story that you had? I even forgot. I think we did 3 of them, didn't we? And I forgot what the 4th one is. We did the doctor one. We did the one.
We did celebrity vaccinations.
We did. I think
we did. They call me Mr. Tibbs. They call her Dr. Jill. Yeah. We have now I have another couple. We have Wisconsin by a Whisper.
That's the one. Yeah, I don't know that one.
Wisconsin by a Whisper. And as you know, on Monday, this day, as we're speaking, they're tallying around the country the electoral college votes. And there's been a little bit of turbulence in some, but it's not going to turn into anything. It doesn't mean anything. But Wisconsin, Trump apparently still likes to lose. He still likes to lose court cases. And he got smacked down today. Today, 3 days after the Supreme Court said, get the fuck out of here. And he lost 4-3. 4-3, and it's a conservative Supreme Court. So theoretically, today in Wisconsin, we were 1 vote away of a judge starting a process of accepting some level of monkeying around with the final vote and the electoral votes and things of that. So that's not a big margin. No. And that's what we've talked about this before. Trump has been looking for this. This is what he wants, just one of these. He wants one corrupt group of judges, one corrupt group of legislators large enough to throw enough sand into the gears to somehow start something. And the Jewish Nazi Stephen Miller went, I think, on Fox and Friends on Monday morning and said, "Oh, we're not done. We're not." And Trump tweets out, "We've only begun to fight."
How?
Yeah.
What? I don't understand. Well, they've got one last thing.
It doesn't matter. This is about stimulating his people to take to the streets and riot and intimidate and beat up people and shoot people. That's what this is.
I think Jonah Goldberg from the National Review has said, I know you guys are having like lots of fun with this. I know you guys think this is some game, but you understand that a lot of the Trump supporters are the ones that have guns, you see. And they could head out to the streets and start shooting people. So I think you guys should probably like look at this as not like some sort of fun game and as something being like really serious. The last push that I saw they were going to make was January the 6th when they count the votes on the Senate floor, and there's going to be all kind of protests and stuff like that. That's the last great Hail Mary. And even some of the big supporters like your Jim Jordans and stuff have been like, I don't know. I think we've done about all we can.
I don't know. I'm not hearing people throwing in the towel. I'm not hearing
it was this one idiot from Georgia who's a backbencher, and he was going to do it. And then they were like, well, what do you think of this, Jim Jordan? What do you think of this, Matt Gaetz, and all these other people? And they were kind of like, yeah, we're not going to commit. We like this court thing. This court thing seems to be a dead bang winner for us, so we're going to go with that. Well, but even though he's now 1 in 60, I think, in court. Is that what the record is?
Right. One day, the Washington Generals, who are like 3 and 12,000 against the Globetrotters, they're going to have a better winning percentage than Trump in court if he keeps up like this. But we haven't been together since last Thursday, and Friday was the Supreme Court,
the SmackDown day,
9-0, and right after that, and I was not aware of this, but we've been doing podcasts and radio together for 15 years, and I would say one of the most annoying, irritating names that came and went about 10 years ago was Alan West. Alan West, he's a guy who was in the military. He got drummed out of the military. He was involved in some incidents there, and he quietly left. And then he ran for Congress in Florida because he'd already started becoming a Fox News favorite. Because if you're right wing and you're black, you got a home on Fox, right? They love
exactly, absolutely.
So he wins a seat 10 years ago in the Tea Party election of 2010. And he was so popular that he got drummed out in the next election, 2012. And you really didn't hear that much about him, although I would guess that for all these years, he's been a go-to guy on Fox when they need a black reactionary to back up bullshit. Mm-hmm. Next thing I know, and I haven't thought about this name for years, Friday night after the Supreme Court says 9-0, get out. We're not bothered with this. You have no standing. Good day, sir. That kind of thing. Although Alito and Clarence Thomas, they didn't dissent. They actually wanted to hear the case so they could smack it down. So you could actually argue it was 7-0, and then these two guys said, we want to have it heard so we can torture you because we don't believe shit right now. We know better. But anyways, and it's a 9-0 decision. Alan West is the chairman of the Texas Republican Party. Son, I didn't know. Did you know that?
I was not aware of this.
So this is the equivalent of a doctor accused of fondling 500 patients in Nevada. He loses his license, and next thing you know, he's practicing in Virginia. Alan West got run out of Florida. So when you get run out of Florida and you're like that, where do you end up?
Texas.
Of course.
Texas.
And he's the one that tweets out on Friday night, we might want to think about seceding from the union. This is just not going to stand. And all that talk, of course, they're not going to secede from the union. They can't secede from the union right now. Elon Musk is moving to Texas right now. You're getting Elon Musk. Leave it alone. Okay,
because he'd be in favor of it, but wouldn't he be ginning that up?
No, but then we'd have to forge a foreign trade deal with Texas, right? But so it's started. It's out there. It's rejectionism. It's revisionism. It's right after the Civil War, the lost cause. This is the lost cause too. Donald Trump was cheated. You tell me if there's any difference between the fact that 100 years from now, they very well may be talking still about how Donald Trump was robbed in 2020 versus how the South was robbed of its heritage in the early 1860s by Abe Lincoln, because it wasn't about slavery, it was about states' rights. And they've been saying it for 150 years, and it doesn't matter if they're wrong and if they're lying and if they know they're lying. They're going to say it. And Trump has lit this fuse. He is going to walk away from it. So, he's not going to live forever, but it's going to live beyond him. I think that this is big trouble. This is big trouble for the country. And I also think that if you thought that when Mitch McConnell said, well, my main goal is to make Barack Obama a one-term president. That's all I care about. And he spent the next 4 years trying to do that. It didn't work, but they shut down Obama every way they could, and they didn't allow him to appoint federal judges. They just put him on ice. And so the openings existed when Trump came into office, and Trump brags as if he invented these openings for himself to fill. But this time around, they're going to try to shut down Joe Biden if they win these 2 seats in Georgia, or even one of them, right? They only need 1. The Democrats need 2.
Yeah, they need 2.
They're going to go after Biden even worse than they went after Obama, if that's possible, because at least Obama had the first 2 years of a Democratic Senate.
He did.
Okay. And Joe Biden may not have that at all.
But don't you believe that Joe Biden does have that relationship with Mitch McConnell, having served with him in the Senate for decades? And I mean, they have some sort of, I don't know if there's some sort of camaraderie, but right. he knows how to gild the lily, I think. Well, not that Obama didn't, but
I would like to think in a perfect world, which we're not, in a perfect world, yes, the personal relationships, the ones that we have been, back in the old days, they used to play cards together 3 nights a week. The families got together on weekend. They didn't always go back to their home states on Thursday afternoon and never, if they would just socialize, if they would sit down and have a drink together, then we could get things done. I would like to think that kind of relationship at any level exists enough between Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell that Mitch McConnell's going to come around. I don't believe that for a second. McConnell is dug in. He's not going to do Joe Biden any favors because, one day they were in the gym together back in 1986 and they struck up a conversation. I don't believe that. McConnell, because look what he's doing right now, starving this country, destroying business. They should put a little counter up in the corner of the screen on the cable news channels of how many businesses are closing minute by minute, hour by hour in this country because the United States Congress has not been able to agree on a package to rescue American citizens, to keep them from starving and being thrown out of their homes and their apartments, and to keep their businesses from going under so they can stay alive another few months till enough people get the vaccine to be able to safely feel they can start to go out and patronize restaurants again. And Mitch McConnell's not interested in any of those things right now. So he's starving the country, and it's him. It isn't the Congress can't get anything done. The Senate can't do anything. It's a crippled body. No, it's one fucking guy. It is one guy only.
It's always it's such a shame that the Congress can't get anything done. No, there's one fuckwad who can't get shit done. That's always the hand wringer, right? It's just so sad that they just can't make anything. No, it's this one dickhead. It's this one guy. It's not them. It's like his buddies, his pals. It's the weirdest thing. Now, the thing on Friday where the decision comes down from the Supreme Court, which we all knew was going to happen, but still, you want visual verification. And it was Thomas and Alito that said, okay, I'd hear the petition, but I wouldn't give you anything for it.
Right.
which I love. Everybody else was like, fuck it. I wouldn't even open the door for your ass.
You know what? I was starting to get nervous.
Were you really?
Late in the afternoon. And here's why. Because I was positive that this was going to be one of those 10 in the morning on Friday kind of decisions. Everybody leave for the weekend. And as it got to be later in the afternoon and we heard nothing, I thought, holy shit, because time is not your friend.
No.
In a case where what the decision is going to be.
Get it over with. Yeah.
And right. What are you waiting for?
Yeah,
I don't think it came out till after 6 o'clock at night or so.
Yeah, it was. So, it was right, maybe 7 or 7. It was it was right in that area. The dinner hour.
I was a little bit nervous, but then it worked out the way it was supposed to. But
But they put that up there, and then allegedly Trump was so downtrodden that he didn't even go to his own Christmas party. He just stayed up in there. Yeah, they had another big super spreader event in the mansion, and he didn't even go. And he just sat up there and jacked himself and cried and ate Cheetos and tweeted. That's what happened on Friday night. But good news, despite all of those assholes at the White House that have decided to go ahead and have super spreader events all over the place and cough on each other and bang each other and whatever, they're getting the virus first. They're among the first people to be getting the vaccine, Brad, as it's being shipped out across America.
I thought that they backed down on that.
No, they're going to get it, and it's like the dumbest shit.
Or wait, hang on. I hate to fight you. This is one of the.
The original one was this morning. Has there been a change since like 8 o'clock this morning? Because that was the original story.
Trump already tweeted that they're not going to get it.
Really? Is that what he said? What time did he tweet this? Because it may be a fluid event.
No,
as usual, he may be lying.
This is fake Trump suddenly figuring out that it doesn't look good if all the people at the White House step in front of everybody else, and so this is the one time where it was already too late, because since he hasn't said I'm going to get it, or he said I'll get it at the appropriate time. What the hell do you think the appropriate time would be?
What would it be? When 3,000 people a day are dying? Do you think that's a good time or no? What do you think? What do you think would be the appropriate time for this? Right. Did you happen to see that off-hinge interview? I've seen clips of it, of him with Brian Kilmeade before the Army-Navy game.
I mean, I've seen little parts of it. It's he's off the rails.
It's the greatest hits of everything. It's like it is Tourette's. Whoop, Dominion. Whoop, signature verification. Whoop, Brian Kilmeade. It's just him saying to Brian Kilmeade all of the bullshit over and over again. And the great clip was from that. I don't know who she is. She's the awful woman they have on Fox and Friends on the weekend. She goes, I just feel so bad for the president. He just did such a great job leading this country and creating jobs and cutting taxes, and now he's had the election stolen from him. I just feel so badly for the president. that was what, and of course they cheered him at the Army-Navy game because that's what you do. He was the commander-in-chief and all that other horse shit.
Yeah. Does he think that turns everything around?
Well, he retweets that like it's the greatest thing of all time.
So here this morning, Trump asked the White House staffers to get the vaccine somewhat later in the program, unless specifically necessary.
What does that mean?
That was a Sunday night tweet.
That means those motherfuckers are going to be right up there first in line before 90-year-olds even touch it. That's what that means. If I was one of those guys, I'm going to be completely candid with you. If I'm one of those assholes at the White House and they've been told under no circumstances will you try to get another job. No, you will not leave. That is bad for the president. That sends a message that he thinks he lost. No, you stay where you are. If I get the idea that you're sending resumes out, you're fucking fired. The only reason that I'm sticking around is so I'll be first in line and I can jump people in order to get that vaccine. And if you're not going to give that to me, bye, peace out, I'm out, right? I'm going to go home. I'm going to spend the next 10 days with my family over wherever they are, Alabama or Tennessee or wherever the fuck they are, and we'll super spread on each other and all this other shit. I'm done with this White House job, which sucked from the beginning, didn't pay shit, and is now going to doom me to a life of nothing afterwards, right? Think about it. You've seen the West
bargaining over the shot. I like that.
You've seen the West Wing, and they've got all these. You have, of course, the senior people, but you have all of these young people who are very bright, allegedly, and just run around because you have to have incredible energy and stamina, and you have to stay up late, work incredible hours, have no social life, right? These are like 23, 24, 25-year-olds. Some of them have advanced degrees, some of them don't, whatever. And this is going to be something they're padding their resume. They really believe in the cause and all this other shit. And but these people are walking around and shit, and they're having to make no money, and they're having to work in this White House with this piece of shit, and now they can't even get the vaccine. They can't even jump line.
I don't think that this White House has ever been staffed up in that way. Oh, I think that I just don't think that they did. I don't think that there's any legitimate infrastructure far beyond some of the people that you know their names of, and maybe an assistant here or there, but I don't think there's a deep bench. I don't think there's a Donald Trump White House presidential employment tree that's going to continue on from him.
Forget it.
I just don't think so.
But I would be so pissed right now. It's like the only reason I'm hanging on here is so I can get this vaccine. I can jump line over some 89-year-olds that are on their deathbed so that I can get this, and I can screw them, because that's what we've been doing. That's what we do in the Trump White House is we screw old people, we screw poor people, we just screw people. That's what we do left and right.
I just think that the stupidity, and are we allowed to use the D word, deplorables?
I guess, yeah.
Well, because I find you deplorable if you don't believe the science.
That's true.
I find you deplorable if you're one of those people that when the polling was done a few months ago, 65% of the people believe Anthony Fauci, 40% believe Trump about the virus. Okay, if you're one of those 40% that believe Donald Trump, after all the lies, after all the information that we've learned about what he knew and when he knew it, if you're one of those people who just doesn't think that science is legit, you're afraid of the vaccine, you think that they're going to inject some kind of fluid into you so that George Soros can track your every move. If you're one of those people, and climate change isn't real, the vaccine is fake, the virus is a hoax, you shouldn't even be able to get the vaccine.
You're damn right. You're 100% right. That's exactly right.
And we should designate, what state are we going to put him in? Montana? Give him plenty of room. We'll give him Montana. It's a big state.
Wyoming, Montana. Yeah, Montana's huge. Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nobody there, and it's you just move you go out there, you can circulate the virus among yourselves.
Cough on each other and shit. Do whatever
and
you
want. Can't travel. You can't leave. It's, you're a little devil's island unto yourself. And the rest of us will get the vaccine, and we will get on with our lives as best we can. Although I really think the big gap here, the huge gap, and again, everything goes back to the lying done by Trump, because Trump's original sin on this was to lie about how virulent the virus was, how it was going to spread quickly, and how lethal it was going to be. And he lied about that and what he knew, and then lied about a vaccine, that we're going to get a vaccine so quickly, and then everything is going to be back to normal, and I will get reelected, right? That was his thought about in February, 8 or 9 months ago. That's what he thought would happen. A vaccine was developed.
It was.
By lots of really brilliant scientists, eggheads, Ivy Leaguers, smart people, all right? Medical people, not people going on their gut instincts. And the vaccine was developed faster than anybody thought was possible. For once, if Trump would have said they never thought it was possible to do, he was right about that. But that completely gets washed over by all the lying that he did. But he has set this up to make way too many people believe that if they just get the vaccine and then get the second shot 3 or 4 weeks later, and then wait 8 or 10 days, whatever that amount of time, then everything's back to normal. And we can all go to theaters and restaurants and baseball games again, and fuck the masks. Let's have a mask burning contest tonight on the John Hannity Show. We're going to burn the masks. Okay.
It's going to be
mask demolition night. We're going to bring in Steve Dahl. He's going to help us. He did disco demolition night.
Let's do it again.
He's going to blow up the, okay. And it's not that way. It is not that way. We still are going to we're going to be wearing masks a year from now. Those of us who are responsible. But the problem is we're going to have so many people who think that it's over after they get the vaccine. I mean, we are the dumbest country right now.
We are pretty dumb.
We are just the dumbest country.
We're pretty dumb.
And doesn't it just gall you? Doesn't it make you sick to see every doctor every day repeating the same things?
It is
about keep your distance, don't travel, no large groups, keep within your family. just
Wash your
have to
hands.
say it over and over again.
Cancel your
It's so
Christmas
sad. This country may be too stupid to beat the virus, because we've got to get the number of new cases down from 250,000. It's probably going to be at 300. We got to get it back down to a couple thousand at the most. Think how far away we are from that right now.
a long way.
We're still on the way up, and we've got another month or two. And it doesn't matter that here in the middle of December, it doesn't matter how many times you hear everybody say, we just can't do Christmas the same way we've done it our whole. You just can't.
Exactly.
You have to give it up. Can't do it. Just can't fucking do it.
Because
Can't do it.
Can't
do it.
What you're seeing right now is the Thanksgiving bombs going off all over the place. That's why 3,000 people a day are dying, because people didn't listen when it came to Thanksgiving.
Well, if you like 3,000, you're going to love 5.
That's right. Because it's completely possible if people ignore it and go ahead and go forward with their Christmas plans. All right, that's it for us today.
That was an optimistic note to quit on, don't you?
It was. Go spay and neuter your pets.
Yeah.